going? Heather here, and I just want to thank you for joining me today for our Thursday live stream. Mark had to take care of some family things. We know that family's first, so you guys have me today, and I'm delighted to be able to share some inspiration and hopefully some guidance with you guys today. And there are a lot of you, there are a lot of new people, so I really want to say welcome and thank you for joining us. This group has exploded. I think we've doubled in size or even tripled potentially in the last couple weeks. So that is really, really awesome. Thank you very much for joining us here. And if you haven't already, go ahead and introduce yourself. Let us know who you are, where you're coming from, what your history is like, and we'd love to get to know you a little bit more. The best way that we can help you and serve you is by you telling us what's kind of going on in your situation and reaching out for help, right? That's the first step, is recognizing that you need help and then reaching out to get that help. And so I really encourage everyone to let us know who you are. This group is a safe place to communicate with us and for us all to share and uplift each other. I personally believe that marriage is sacred. I believe it can be eternal and that it is one of the most important experiences that we can ever have during our mortal lives. And so I feel very honored and blessed and very passionate about this idea of marriage. So with that being said, I want to talk a little about that if you want to receive love, then you must first love yourself. And this is one topic that really rings true for me personally. I feel like most of my life, tell me if this sounds familiar to you, and as always, leave me a comment, let me know if you have a question or anything while I'm live here with you. I love to interact, and sometimes it's a little awkward when it just feels like a one-sided conversation. So I love to know if you're out there, if you're watching, or if you're watching the replay later, go ahead and comment and ask me any questions, or if something really resonates with you, let me know. That helps me know that I'm able to serve you the best. So anyway, but let me know if this sounds familiar to you and leave a comment if it does. But I would often feel myself or hear myself saying things or having this idea that if my husband would only do this, then I would feel loved. And I was looking to him, I would be like, if he would, sacrifice his time with his brothers, that would make me feel loved. If he would spend more time with me, that would make me feel secure. If he would give me more gifts, then that would make me feel like our romance is still alive, right? And I was truly looking for him to fill up my internal need for security, for love, for comfort, and ultimately for happiness. And I didn't even recognize that I was in that kind of pattern. I'm not even sure exactly how it all developed, but I know that I was in a very needy kind of situation myself personally, where I needed him to fill me up and needed him to give me that kind of love that I was craving. And over the years, I came to realize that when I was in that needy, it was a desperate place. It was kind of a place of desperation, right? Like I needed him to give me everything. And that even when he gave it, it still wasn't enough. And so when we kind of get into that mentality that I need this person to make me feel loved, I need them to make me feel special, I need them to give me security in my life, even when they provide that or they don't, we get into a trap of needing more. And that even when they do give it to us, it's not enough. And I uncovered the reason for that. And the reason for that is because someone else cannot give us what is ours to give ourselves. Okay? It is our responsibility to be able to have that sense of security, that sense of comfort, that sense of peace, that sense of love, unconditionally within ourselves. And we cannot receive it from anyone else. It is impossible actually for us to do that. It has to be something that comes from within. And when I made that shift and I understood that, it was still a journey. It was a journey of understanding how to love myself because I felt like it had to come from him. He was my husband. Wasn't that his job, right? I don't know why, but that's where I was at. And maybe you can relate to that. And in fact, I think a lot of you can, because I hear from the words that you're sharing with us that some of you are expecting them to kind of fill your cup up. But really, you're the one that has to fill up your cup. And so I went on a journey to learn how to do that. How do I feel loved? How do I feel like I'm significant if someone isn't telling me I'm significant? Where's the evidence of that? Where's the proof of it, right? And so I learned a good number of things along the way. And ultimately, we do need to have that deep level of self-love. And that love is unconditional. I think that many of us get very caught up in the busyness of our lives. I say that we live in an age of distraction and disruption, right? We have like 15 pieces of technology usually going on all around us, right? We got our TV and our laptop and our iPad, our tablet and our phone and, the radio and all of this information coming at us all the time. Plus then the actual like physical surroundings and the people around us, right? So it can be tremendously difficult to tune all of that out and get connected with who we really are. And that's why I encourage you to go into what I call the silence. And the silence is that still, quiet part of us that is deeply eternal. And when we connect with it, it gives us that sense of peace and contentment and stillness. And this might sound a little weird if you've never, I understand it might sound a little bit different. I might be challenging you here because it can feel a little uncomfortable as you're getting to that place. However, when I learned how to tune into that, my life completely changed. And I was able to develop incredible, blissful serenity that truly was unconditional. And that was not an easy process, like I said, but it was definitely one that has changed my life personally and blessed me forever. And so I would encourage you to do a similar journey. Now, I have a couple different situations. I'm trying to think about what the best one is to share with you. I like to go off of, the inspiration. I call this, this internal quiet, this internal guidance, I call it your IGS, okay? Your IGS, and I'll talk a little bit more about this probably in depth another time, but your IGS is better than your GPS, right? We have a GPS on our phone, and that can give us guidance and coordinates about where we're going physically. But we know that those things are glitchy, right? Thanks technology, it worked great yesterday, and now I have an appointment and I can't get there in time because the stinking GPS won't work, right? But our IGS, unlike our GPS, it never falters. It is truly a pure guidance system. And your IGS, I say, is better than your GPS because it is guidance for you in your life. And if you learn how to tune within to that inner guidance system, you can find the solutions that you're looking for. You can find the answers to your questions. You can find the healing and the peace and the serenity and the forgiveness for yourself and for others. I know that a lot of us struggle with that issue in particular. And that is found by going within. And so this week, I would really love to encourage us to go on a development of self-love and learn how to tune in to our IGS, our inner guidance system. And so with that, I got some feedback from some of you that you would really love to have another challenge. We just did a Love Your Spouse challenge, and now I think it'd be great to do a Love Yourself or a self-love challenge. So I think we're going to start that next week. So go ahead and, pay attention to that. I think it's going to be really, really great. Each day we'll focus on a different area of self-love. And just like with the first challenge that we did, each day you'll have certain actions that you need to take to develop that self-love. And as we do those things, we will become aware of who we really are. Who we are, not just externally, not just the stories that have been told about us, but who we are on a core, gut, visceral level, right? Who I really am. And sometimes it feels like we've lost ourselves a little bit, especially when we have relationship challenges. We get lost a little bit in the person, we get lost a little bit into the situation, into the struggle, and into the pain and the difficulty of what we're going through. And so being able to discover who we really are for us and make decisions that will move us forward in a productive way. So that honestly, regardless of what happens externally, regardless of what happens in your marriage, you know that you're safe. You know that you're okay. And you know that you will be in a good place. That may sound a little far-fetched right now. And if it does, I understand, because I was probably in your shoes at one time or another. But I'd really like you to kind of stick with me here. Because what I mean is something that I've lived. And I've seen actually several thousand other people go on this journey with me. I've had the privilege of, I'm a 27-time 27-time Amazon best-selling author. And I've been able to share some messages and help people kind of be guided along with this journey. And their feedback, it just stirs my heart. It just so beautiful, and I really want you to experience this as well. Going from a place of insecurity, a place of needing your partner to just give you everything, to a place of, I'm okay, and I'm always gonna be okay. I absolutely love and adore myself. And when you get to that place, your cup is full, then my friend, you can receive more love from your spouse. You can receive more love from your children, from your family, from your friends. It's like when your well is full, you then are able to be open. It's like you open the door to receive more love and more light into your life. And it just deepens the experience. It makes it that much more beautiful and refreshing. So instead of being like an energy vampire, okay, that's how I would describe myself before, where I needed everyone else to give me that feeling of satisfaction and security, that feeling of self-worth, that feeling of I'm important, that feeling of I'm special, the feeling of I'm loved by someone is head over heels in love with me. It went from being that energy vampire where I just was like sucking from everyone around me to try to fill that space inside because I felt hollow, because I didn't have that within myself on my own. I went from that kind of place of being an energy vampire, expecting my husband and everyone else to kind of fill me up, to the point where I was able to fill myself up first. And not only was I able to then give more love because I had my own needs taken care of, and I was able to give in such a more genuine, honest, raw, pure, vulnerable, beautiful way, right? A vibrant, thriving way. We love that word, thriving. We're high thrive here. We believe in the high thrive life. So I was able to do that, but not only was I able to do that, but then I was able to receive more. And it's like your cup runneth over, right? That's a scripture. So I'm not going to get too deep into scriptures. I'm not trying to push religion on anyone, but I do believe in that your cup can run over. It can be so full and so abundant. That's how you nourish and nurture yourself. And I believe it is the first step to nourishing and nurturing your marriage and your relationship and your family. So we're going to start with that idea of self-love. I hope I've convinced you. I don't know, I haven't got any comments yet. Maybe my signal's not working great, but if this has been of value to you, please let me know. If you have any questions on this, it's a really big issue. It's a core foundational issue. And if you look deep, if you go still, if you go quiet, if you go within, you're gonna recognize that there might be some vacancies there. There might be some needs that you have internally that are not yet being met. And so avoid the temptation to expect others to fill them for you, right? We're not infants anymore. Our mothers used to take care of everything for us. We are not infants anymore. We are adults, and it's time to own our lives. It's time to own ourselves. It's time to love ourselves. It's time to own our marriages and our families. And the best way to do that is to love yourself first. So I love you guys. I pray for you daily, and I'm very, very grateful that you are here. Again, if you ever need anything, please reach out to Mark or I. We have had the privilege of transforming numerous relationships up until this point and seeing marriages that were truly on the brink of divorce, where they felt like there was no hope, completely turn around to the point where they are happy, they are thriving now. And that is my goal and my wish for you today. So with that, thank you guys. I love you, and we'll talk to you later.